Get Rich Slow with John Wolf. So what is the basic Get Rich Slow plan? Well, it is, I am going to buy 5 to 10 properties in the next 5 to 10 years. I'm going to keep all of them or most of them, and I'm going to use the rental income so that someone else pays my mortgage. And 15 years after I buy that 5th or 10th property, I am now easily rich by pretty much any definition. And it's really powerful, and there's really good tools that let you do it in this way. Mortgage loans is a piece of it, selecting the right properties for the right reasons is a piece of it, and having your personal finances in order so that you actually can execute this plan is a piece of it. But let's just talk about just getting started. So first thing is just your general financial fitness. And not everything I'm going to say here is necessary, but all of these things help. And the basic rule, those 4 factors that make a loan: property, income, assets, credit. Baseball, 3 strikes you're out. Well, in home lending, it's closer to 2 strikes you're out. So if the property's wrecked, hopefully you have all 3 of the other things, but you probably at least need the credit or the assets to be strong. That's just an example. So what I started with, just so everybody knows, is I had been working a terribly difficult sales job, and our family household income was around $80,000. It's only recently increased more than that. I actually got all 5 units on $80,000 income. On the asset side, we were blessed that our parents gave us what amounted to 20% of what it would take to buy the first house, but instead of using that money to buy the first house, I did some clever stuff, and I used that money for security and to let me get work done on the house. And I had good credit, frankly, not through any fault of my own, just from not having faults. I got stuck with student loans. I am definitely gonna make videos about what different jobs and career tracks make and what it takes to get into them and to make that money. But basically, if you are making, near me in Portland, if you are making $50,000 to $100,000, if you can get any cash together, but really the minimum that you need to buy a home realistically is 1% of the home's value. The minimum, not every case. Credit, hopefully you have over a 600 credit score. The minimum credit score to get most home loans is 550. It's not very high. Better is totally better. Income, assets, credit, property. And property, I totally recommend you start on normal properties. Looking back at what I did seems insane. The only reason it wasn't so insane is because I'm insane and took crazy risks, did tons of sweat equity type work, and I had a stable job behind me, and that cash that I told you about, that amounted to 20% down on the cash. If things went bad for me, living frugally, which is kind of the only way I live, I could have just sailed for a year. And those are kind of the basics, and none of them have to be perfect. And mine wasn't. So actually, I have 5 doors now, and I put 0 cash down payment in. I definitely put some money in, but not cash down payment, and not really a lot. And that's just kind of the intro. The basic plan is to buy a new owner-occupied house every year or 2, buy another one, make the one that you move out of a rental, and keep it. There's big transactional costs to buying and selling homes. It's not a bad thing, but it just is what it is. And one of the really cool things that you can do as you move forward is Every home you buy, if you put a down payment down, you can get a home equity loan set up before you move out to buy the next home. For example, there's so many tricks and tips, and there are a bunch of things you can only do the first time you buy a home, or they're at least very, very difficult to do after you already own a home if you're not selling it. So again, that's why a mortgage loan officer can really earn the money they make, because there's so much more creativity in what you can do and buy than I had any idea existed. Another really big thing about Get Rich Slow is just get started. So if you're super deficient in one of those income assets credit categories, just get going on it. And I will be doing videos about helping all of those categories. If you want to watch, just about everything I'm going to suggest requires hard work on your part. And the other thing is, if you have the minimum on all of those things, and especially if nothing's really going to improve a lot in your world in 6 months, and you can just barely buy a home, get started. A lot of people stress too much about finding the right deal or the perfect deal, when I just want to point out, here in Portland, and this is different in different places, there was a housing crash, finance crash, 2007, 2008. If you literally bought the most overpriced home on the market in Portland, like normal house, the day before the collapse happened, then you were already well in the black. This is 2007. You were already well in the black again, and it looks like you made a good idea, a good choice by 2012, so long as you didn't lose that property in the middle years between that. And the way that you keep yourself safe from losing that is, as a general rule of thumb, you need $10,000 in reserves for every door that you're going to be renting, because that keeps you safe. Having that amount of money more or less means you can scrap together and float for a year on that individual property, or fix something that comes wrong unexpectedly. But anyways, lots of stuff to talk about. Let me know what kind of questions you guys have, because it'll inform what kind of videos I'm going to do in the future. Again, I do mortgage loans in Oregon and Washington. I have links in the description to get a hold of me. And like, share, subscribe if you think my information is useful. Take care. Bye.